The last transmission from the Andromeda Coalition arrived on a Tuesday morning, crackling through Earth's deep space communication array with the desperation of a dying civilization. Dr. Elena Vasquez had been monitoring routine solar flare activity when the alien signal pierced through the cosmic background radiation like a scream in the void. This cannot be right," she whispered, her coffee growing cold as alien mathematics scrolled across her screen. The message was a patchwork of 17 different languages, stitched together with universal mathematical constants and quantum signatures that spoke of desperation beyond comprehension. It had taken the combined processing power of Earth's quantum computers 6 hours to decode, and the translation had left the entire global space consortium in stunned silence. To any civilization receiving this transmission, the Devourer fleet has consumed the core worlds. Zephyria Prime has fallen. The Crystalline Empire is extinct. The Machine Collective has been assimilated. We are the last. Our shields fail. Our ships burn. If there is anyone left in this galaxy who remembers hope, please, remember us. Admiral Sarah Chen sat in the emergency session of the United Earth Defense Council, surrounded by holographic displays showing the scope of the catastrophe. Red markers indicated dead systems, stretching across a third of the galaxy like a spreading infection. Each marker represented billions of lives that had simply stopped existing. The signal's origin point was the Kepler 442 system, reported Dr. Vasquez, her voice hoarse from hours of analysis. Based on the transmission's degradation pattern, it was sent 47 days ago. If the Devourer fleet maintained their previous consumption rate, they're already dead, finished General Morrison bluntly. Everything within 100 light-years of that system is gone. The silence in the council chamber was deafening. Earth had only achieved faster-than-light travel 15 years ago. Their first contact with galactic civilization had been a routine trade negotiation with a merchant vessel from the Outer Rim. Humanity had been classified as a developing species, technologically primitive, militarily insignificant, culturally immature. They were tolerated, even mildly amusing to the advanced civilizations that had ruled the galaxy for millennia. Now those civilizations were ash. The data packet includes tactical information. Dr. Vasquez continued, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. Fleet compositions, weapon specifications, behavioral patterns. The Coalition spent their final days analyzing their enemy instead of fleeing. Admiral Chen leaned forward, studying the alien vessel schematics that filled the air above the conference table. The Devourer ships were massive, each one the size of a small moon, composed of what appeared to be living metal that could reshape itself at will. They didn't just destroy civilizations, they consumed them, breaking down matter at the molecular level and incorporating it into their ever-growing fleet. According to this data, they've been active for over 3,000 years, Dr. Vasquez said, starting from the galactic core and expanding outward in a perfect sphere. They consume everything: planets, stars, even space stations. Nothing escapes. Estimated time until they reach our sector? Asked General Morrison. At their current rate, 18 months. The weight of that number settled over the room like a funeral shroud. 18 months to prepare for an enemy that had effortlessly destroyed civilizations millions of years more advanced than Earth. There has to be something, Admiral Chen said, refusing to accept the inevitable. The Coalition wouldn't have sent this data if it was completely hopeless. Dr. Vasquez manipulated the holographic display, highlighting a section of the tactical analysis. There is one anomaly. The Devourer fleet always follows the same pattern. They consume the most advanced civilizations first, working their way down to primitive worlds. But according to this data, they've bypassed several developing systems entirely. Why? Unknown. The Coalition theorized that the Devourers might not recognize primitive technology as worth consuming. Their targeting systems are designed to lock onto specific energy signatures, quantum processors, antimatter reactors, zero-point field generators. Technology that developing worlds simply don't possess. General Morrison scoffed. So our primitive status might actually protect us. That's not a strategy, that's just postponing the inevitable. But Admiral Chen was studying the data with growing intensity. No, she said slowly. That's not what this means. Look at the consumption patterns again. They target command ships first, then infrastructure, then population centers. But they always target the highest energy signatures. Understanding dawned across Dr. Vasquez's face. They're drawn to advanced technology like a magnet. The more sophisticated the system, the more attractive it becomes. Which means, Admiral Chen continued, every defensive strategy, the Coalition tried quantum shields, reality-bending weapons, dimensional barriers, just made them bigger targets. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Every advantage the galactic civilizations had possessed had actually been a weakness. Their technology had been their downfall. "What are you proposing?" asked General Morrison. Admiral Chen stood, her eyes fixed on the star charts showing the Devourer fleet's inexorable advance. "We fight fire with water, not fire with fire. We use our primitiveness as a weapon." 3 weeks later, the last shipyard of the Vegan Republic went silent. The Devourer fleet had consumed another star system, adding its biomass and technology to their ever-expanding collective. But for the first time in 3 millennia, something was watching them. Hidden in the asteroid belt of a dead system, camouflaged with simple ferrous metals and organic composites, a small Earth vessel drifted silently. No quantum signatures, no exotic energy sources, just chemical rockets, steel hulls, and human ingenuity. Captain James Rodriguez watched through a simple optical telescope as the massive Devourer ships methodically dismantled a planet. The creatures were beautiful in their terrible efficiency, but he had noticed something the galaxy's greatest minds had missed. "Control, this is Icebreaker 1, he whispered into his radio transmitter, confirming visual contact with the enemy fleet and Admiral. The Coalition data was wrong about one thing. "What is it, Captain?" Rodriguez smiled grimly as he watched a massive Devourer ship suddenly shudder and list to one side, its living metal hull showing signs of structural failure. "They're not invincible. They're just really hungry. And we're about to give them the worst case of indigestion in galactic history." Back on Earth, Admiral Chen received the transmission and allowed herself a moment of hope. The plan was insane, desperate, and built entirely on humanity's greatest weakness, their technological primitiveness. But sometimes, the smallest key could open the largest door. The galaxy had called for help, and Earth had answered. Not with advanced weapons or superior technology, but with something far more dangerous: human stubbornness and the absolute refusal to give up. The Devourer fleet had consumed civilizations that could bend space and time. But they had never encountered a species that fought with chemical explosives, kinetic weapons, and pure spite. They were about to learn why Earth was called a death world.